Hi friends, my name is Heather, and yes, I am sitting in a different spot because my big tripod broke and we're using my mini tripod and there's not many spaces I can set it up. So if the lighting looks weird or if we go crooked, bear with me. But welcome to my July TBR where we talk about the books that I want to read in July. So I'm really trying to leave July open to mood read because this is one of the only times of the year where I can just pick up a book and go with it. That being said, there are a few books that have been on my TBR for a while or that are part of book clubs that I definitely want to get to. And I also want to make the general announcement that I am doing Summerween, but I'm not going to announce what I'm reading yet because I kind of want to pick and choose a little bit closer. But I am planning on daily vlogging during Summerween, which might be the craziest thing I am trying to do, but you know, why not try? Let's talk about the books that I definitely want to get to. The first book I know next to nothing about, and I'm planning on picking it up on my Kindle just because I forgot to get it at Barnes & Noble and I don't want to drive 40 minutes back out there, and you know, I have a Kindle, so why not? And that is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I think this kind of blends the genres of fantasy and sci-fi a little bit, but I know nothing about it. If I didn't say, this is for the Court of Fables book club, which is run by Bookish Gem or Jordan here on YouTube and on Instagram. And I had a lot of fun during the Serpent and the Wings of Night discussion a couple months ago. And so I'm really looking forward to just chatting with everybody about this book. Let me grab the stack of books that I am going to read physically this month as well. So, not a very big stack, but that's a good thing when we want to mood read and when we're going to be doing Summerween. The first book I'm almost positive is going to end up being Olivia's book club pick at Liv's Library. It's winning the poll right now, and even if it doesn't win, I definitely want to read it. And that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have not read The Dead Romantics. One day I'll get to it, but the premise of this one, it sounds so interesting and bizarre. And it follows our heroine who lives in this apartment, and then one day she comes home and there's a man in the kitchen who apparently also lives in the apartment, but he is living 7 years in the past. So it kind of sounds like that Sandra Bullock movie, The Lake House, where two people's timelines are happening consecutively except when they are actually like living their lives. They're separated by time. So I have no idea how this one is going to work or how the logistics of it even like function. But I've heard that she writes with a lot of emotion and a lot of heart. And so I'm very curious to see how this all plays out. I am definitely in a romance mood lately, and I'm always down to try a new to me romance author. So very excited about this one, and I really hope it wins the poll. Next up, we have Carissa Broadbent's Children of Fallen Gods. This is the second book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. I read the first one back in March and absolutely loved it. So this is the sequel to Daughter of No Worlds, and it follows Tisana, who has recently learned how to use her magic, and she really wants to free her enslaved people. She had to be mentored by this guy named Max, and they formed a love story. The romantasy aspect of this series is top notch, but also the epic high fantasy of this series is great. Some of the magic is legit like horrific and frightening and scary, like kind of felt like a horror book at times, and I'm really excited to see where Tisana and Max's story goes in this. It also had a side character that I absolutely loved, and guess what the side character's name was? Sam. Sam. Have you read an epic high fantasy where there was a side character named Sam and you didn't love it? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll put some images here. But with that kind of precedent, how could we not love this book, and how could we not love Sam? I hope we get more of him in this book. The next book I have is a nonfiction called How to Stay Married, the Most Insane Love Story Ever Told by Harrison Scott Key. This is a native Mississippian, and his first book, The Largest Man on Earth, was excellent. I highly recommend listening to the audiobook. He writes with a lot of sarcasm and humor, but also a lot of heart. This book takes all of those things that I loved about his first book, but the topic is very emotional. He is writing about his wife's infidelity and then the reconciliation of their marriage. So like really heavy topics. But when I went to his reading, he read some passages of it that had me like tearing up at the beginning of a sentence and laughing by the end of the sentence, like before the period hit. So if an author can make me feel that much in such a short amount of time, I'm definitely down to read the whole book. Affairs and infidelity can sometimes be hard for me to read about, but kind of knowing the end of their story helps me see this one in a bit more of a positive light, and I'm really excited to read it. It's also not super long, and I did get it signed. For Heather. The last book on my physical TBR for this month is the first book that I'm planning on reading in July, and that is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This is Olivia's book club pick for June, and I just didn't get to it, but her live show is not until July 6th, and it's really short, so I think I can finish it. The cover is beautiful, first of all, and I also got like $10 off because the back of the book is a little bit damaged, and this was the last copy left at Barnes & Noble. But this book, again, not knowing too much about it, but just knowing the very, very general premise, is kind of like adult Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but for book lovers. I think it's whimsical. I think it's got some magical realism. I think there's some like action, adventure, puzzle, riddle elements to it, and I'm really, really excited to read it. I'm really excited about July and just having one more month of kind of doing whatever I want before I get back to teaching the children how to use numbers in middle school, because I'm a middle school math teacher. I also want to say a huge, huge shout out to my subscribers. We hit 300 subscribers this month, and I'm blown away. I did not expect to grow at such like a rapid, I know that's not like a ton, but I feel like I grew pretty quickly in the month of June, and we made it to 300, which to me feels like a huge number. So if you're new around here and you haven't introduced yourself, please let me know a little bit about you down in the comments. I really don't like this to be a one-way street. I like to interact with you guys. So tell me who you are and tell me what your favorite book is, and I will be sure to respond to you. As always, if you enjoyed this, please like the video, please leave a comment, and make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss anything new from me. I do new videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, and during the summer, I do a live stream reading sprint every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Time, and I really hope that you can join us one day. As always, my social media is linked down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.